Hey there everyone, I'm meteorologist Cassie Nall, and this is your 10 weather impact recap for the week. Let's start with a look at some of the top weather stories from around the country. The calendar may say spring, but the weather is still wintry last week in the northern plains and upper Midwest. In North Dakota and Minnesota, blowing snow made roads slick with numerous accidents reported across the region. And in Wisconsin, the same weather system brought freezing rain, coating everything in a layer of ice. Trees fell and knocked down power lines across the state, leading to widespread power outages that lasted into the weekend. In Michigan, a combination of spring snowmelt and heavy rain is causing flooding across the lower peninsula. Many rivers have reached moderate to major flood stage, with rapidly rising water catching some folks off guard. Authorities say this type of flooding is seasonal, but this year's water levels are higher than residents are accustomed to. Out west, a recent snowpack survey on Mount Hood in Oregon is not great. The results show only 43% of average snow water equivalent for this time of year. The snow water equivalent, or SWE, measures how much water is contained within the snowpack and is a key indicator for forecasting water availability in the months ahead. Snowpack levels on Mount Hood typically reach their highest levels during the second half of April, so having an SWE this low at this point in the year could have significant consequences.
Yeah, this is a pretty grim year. So it's obviously historically low snowpack, and so we're obviously very, at this point in time, we're kind of, letting everybody know that we're highly certain that this spring and summer will be especially challenging for Oregon.
Snowpack plays a critical role in Oregon's water system, acting as a natural reservoir that slowly releases water into rivers and streams. When snowpack is low, that supply is reduced, raising serious concerns about water availability, wildfire risk, and environmental impacts in the months ahead. Snowpack in Colorado is also at record low levels for this time of year. The lack of water combined with warm and dry conditions is leaving reservoirs below normal, and some smaller lakes are drying up. Experts are concerned about what this may mean for the future as officials ponder enacting water restrictions. Janelle Finch reports.
Half full or half empty. Whatever way you look at the lakes and reservoirs in Colorado,
more like a pond, yeah.
Half capacity or less isn't good.
This is the year that people are going to learn the value of water.
Two Buttes Reservoir in southeastern Colorado is dried up. And Aurora Water says Spinny Mountain Reservoir is 48% full.
And it looks a lot like a moonscape.
The utility says the Aurora Reservoir is 97% full. Levels here will be impacted too in order to support water use this year.
We're going to draw those down, and it may take years for us to actually fully recover back to what we would consider a full capacity.
Shawnee Klein says reservoirs won't run dry because they reuse water. But with the peak of snowpack behind us, there will be less of the resource in rotation.
We might get maybe a quarter to a third of the normal water that we see to replenish reservoirs this year.
Warm weather is compounding infrastructure issues at Houston Lake in Denver.
Yeah, it's a little bit concerning, I'd say.
Garrett Scray watches water levels decrease daily. He's lived in the neighborhood for 8 years and says the lake has never been this low.
It's kind of an eyesore now with the water being down so much and half the lake being mud, and there just being dead fish floating around. So
Denver Parks and Rec says it shut down the pipe that fills the lake last year due to a leak. The city says Dottie is working on the pipe, but it won't be back on until May.
On real hot days, it starts to stink like swampy or kind of mucky, yeah.
Parks and Rec says without the pipe or adequate storm water, fish may not survive.
Hopefully, it can get fixed.
Across Colorado, water utilities are reminding people these extremes could become more frequent realities if this drought continues beyond this year.
What people do this year can have impacts on what they're able to do next year.
In Southern California, brush fires were the big story over the weekend. The Maury fire started Sunday in San Marcos, about 30 miles north of downtown San Diego. The fire was so intense it temporarily led to the evacuation of Cal State San Marcos. Firefighters were able to get that blaze under control quickly by attacking it from both the ground and the air. And the first major wildfire of the year in California has also been fully contained. The Springs Fire burned more than 4,000 acres in the Moreno Valley area over the weekend, rapidly expanding due to strong winds, which prompted evacuations and road closures. The cause of the brush fire remains under investigation. Reed Binion has the details.
I noticed it started getting orange outside. And I said, wow, we experiencing an eclipse or something like that?
Residents in Southern California.
She said, no, it looked like a fire.
Reacting to the state's first major wildfire of the season.
We're very afraid.
There's a concern. I mean, we're out here, we're all scared for the threat of our homes.
The Springs fire in Riverside County started on Friday. Powerful Santa Ana wind gusts fanned the flames, causing the blaze to grow in size.
We have the advantage that we don't have 60-mile-an-hour winds. Now they've been up pretty good today. CAL FIRE crews sprang into action immediately from the ground and the air. Planes dropping fire retardant and helicopters dumping water on the flames. The blaze prompting evacuations.
Police knock on everybody's door telling them leave.
Some residents staying as long as possible to spray down their homes with water.
Just hosing down the eaves just to take a little precaution. That's about it. That's all I can do. Not that it may not help. I don't know. Maybe it will.
Multiple evacuation orders remained in effect as of Saturday morning, leaving residents and homeowners concerned but hoping for the best.
Fire department's strong out here, so they're doing what they have to do and keep us aware and safe.
We trust in God, so, everything will be okay.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
In Colorado, one business owner is taking a unique approach to preventing potential wildfires with goats. Rachel Ramsey has the story.
Nature's lawnmower. These goats may not realize it.
They just want to eat.
But they're helping protect Colorado from wildfires.
Hi, Mimis.
Owner of Goat Mowers, Kim Jones, says each one of her 250 goats can eat up to 10 pounds of leaves a day.
And they'll bring that fire canopy up 7 to 9 feet off the ground.
And the Southern Colorado business owner says they'll do it way quicker and better than you.
One customer said in 2 days the goats did what he'd been trying to accomplish in 7 years.
With the warm, dry weather we're having this year, Jones says business is booming.
It's going to be our best year ever.
And I'm told while these goats are helping prevent fires, they're also bringing other benefits to the environment.
They're doing invasive weed control. Their hooves massage the soil, and they actually are keeping water in the soil. Their mouths are eating down the vegetation so that the sunlight, the oxygen, and the moisture can get into the soil. On the back end, they're leaving that to fertilize your ground.
When it comes to emissions,
much less than what if you're out there using a tractor or using a lawnmower. I think all of us are concerned about our environment. We love this beautiful state that we live in.
On top of being eco-friendly, Jones says the goats bring the community together.
It is absolutely amazing how much they stop and they want to learn about the goats.
She stresses the importance of fire mitigation, saying it can save homes.
We're in fire season all year long. It takes all of us working together.
And Goat Mowers is working to provide fire mitigation one bite at a time.
Now let's take a break from news in the Northern Hemisphere and travel south, all the way to the South Pole. Did you know that the South Pole only has one sunrise and one sunset each year? On March 23rd, the sun set at the South Pole, and it won't rise above the horizon again until September. Research is that the facilities there will spend most of the next 6 months, which is winter in the Southern Hemisphere, with only a faint glow near the horizon or in complete darkness. In contrast, they will have 24 hours of daylight for 6 months once the sun comes back up for the summer in September. I find that really fascinating. Kansas City, Missouri is welcoming the World Cup in just 3 short months. The home of the Kansas City Chiefs football team will be turned into a pitch for a different type of football in July. Organizers and authorities have been preparing for everything from transportation to medical care for both players and fans. But what about the weather? Meteorologist Lauren Rainson has more details about preparations for the World Cup this summer.
The world is coming to Kansas City right when we usually see a lot of heat impacts and severe weather.
The people that are going to be coming here are not used to our warm and humid conditions that we're going to be experiencing this summer, right? And so we're going to be putting together information and trying to get that out.
Meteorologist Brad T. Meyer and Kansas City Emergency Manager Christopher Carroll are partnering with other agencies and organizations to keep everyone safe.
If storms develop, it would be after 3.
We're working closely with the Kansas City Police Department as well as our own city communications, make sure that we get messages out in multiple languages and ensure that people are aware of the cultural differences.
During the World Cup events, whenever an alert goes out or a warning needs to be issued, the bulk of the communication is going to happen right here.
If anything goes wrong, That's where it comes to this room, and we make sure that we deal with the situation, the emergency, the incident as quickly and as efficiently as possible to keep everybody safe.
The World Cup experience in Kansas City will be unique with outdoor stadiums, but that will mean added risk.
We are going to have periods where we're going to be dealing with severe weather and heat and that sort of thing. So we're just already working to plan and try to mitigate those impacts.
During the World Cup events, there will be about 100 people right here in this room working around the clock.
Back here in the southeast, spring Maine strawberry season is in full swing, but this year's crop may look a little different. Kayla Page spoke with a local farmer in South Carolina who explained what's making an impact this year in the Palmetto State.
It's been a sweet start to the season for many families picking strawberries at Cottle Strawberry Farms. But between the weather and rising costs, farmers say getting to this point hasn't been easy.
The cold set us back.
Co-owner Hunter Bullock says the season started a few days behind schedule this year, as the winter season was not a mild one.
As far as the actual freezing temperatures that we had, closer to 10 degrees, that did do a little bit of damage for us. We have too many acres just to be able to cover on such short notice with that. We weren't quite ready for that.
And like other industries, Bullock says he's feeling the brunt of price hikes for essentials like fuel and fertilizer.
I've had other farmers call me and said that they don't know how they're going to really make a profit. Things that you would think are completely unrelated still go up because they have to be transported to us.
Families having a good time say that they're more than happy to support.
It's just about giving back to the community, like taking the dollars that we get, putting them back into the community and supporting local businesses and farmers. It's really important. If we don't do that, then they'll disappear, they'll go away.
And for many visitors, the appeal goes beyond the berries.
I'd say that it's wholesome. It's just good family fun. The kids can run around and squash strawberries all over themselves and everywhere, and it's just very family oriented. It's just a good time.
Making it all worth it despite the obstacles.
We do, obviously we sell strawberries, but we try to actually grow memories, and that's why we've added other crops over the years, as well as our agritourism park behind me. We're really trying to encapsulate the experience itself.
In North Carolina, one town is balancing major economic change with storm recovery after Hurricane Helene battered the southeast in September of 2024. Leaders from across the Tar Heel state toured that community to see the progress firsthand. And now the question is the town more prepared today than it was before Helene? Reporter Elijah Skipper took that question to state leaders.
Facing down hurricanes and flooding is not a West North Carolina problem. It's not an Eastern North Carolina problem. It's a North Carolina problem.
They're not just hearing about Helene, they're walking through it.
The water line ended right there. I mean, I saw everything from cars to cattle hitting, knocking things around, down.
In Canton, the water may be gone.
This is normally how it is.
But the marks it left behind are still easy to follow.
And I was standing here when she came around the corner and she just hit her knees because she had just got that studio back open, a small business, and it was gone again.
Leaders from Eastern North Carolina used to coastal storms, now stepping into a different kind of flooding in the mountains.
The geography is so much different, and the rate of the water that's coming through here moves so much faster, but it also moves out much quicker.
Each stop on this tour a reminder of what was lost and what's trying to come back.
After the news is gone, after we're on the back page and people forget about us, it's the ongoing efforts that could take over a decade for these things to recover. And we just want to make sure that we continue to give voice to the people that are in this recovery effort, that we're not going to walk away. We're going to stay here and we're going to finish the job.
The tour, organized by the American Flood Coalition, is meant to connect communities facing very different kinds of flooding, but the same question.
It's the one thing that brings people together. It's the one thing that we have to work together to fix. It's the commonality that we all have. It crosses party lines, religious orders. We're all in this together as human beings.
And now let's get a check of your 7-day forecast. Temperatures will continue to climb back up above average by about 10 degrees, 10 to 15 degrees as a matter of fact, as we get into the weekend with highs back into the low to mid 80s. Even into early next week, that warmth is going to continue. And as of right now, we don't have any rain chances expected in the forecast through at least the weekend and even into the early parts of next week. Obviously, check back for updates and make the best of the sunshine while we have it. But remember, we really do need some rain as well. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, you can always get the latest forecast and watch our 24/7 live radar anytime with the WBIR Plus app. You can download that app for free and watch on your TV.